Greetings, this is Brother Nia from NABSS TV, and we're interviewing the Queen Nzinga Saturday School based in, is it Northolt?
Northolt, yeah.
West London. So yeah, West London represented. And
Definitely.
please introduce yourself and your role at the school.
So I'm Louise Brown. I'm one of the directors, one of the founding directors of the school, and also the curriculum lead. So I look after really what we're teaching in the school.
Okay. And when was the school started and why?
We started in 2020, so really in the thick of lockdown and coronavirus. We are part of a larger organisation called Parents Action and Resource Centre, which has actually been around since 2016, working with parents, with young people, with children around education, just working to really address some of the issues around inequality, injustice and education. So since 2016. In 2020, we sat down with the parents that were part of the organisation, and we talked about where we should go next, what we should do, how we could address some of the challenges that parents were finding in the whole of the COVID. And the parents, alongside some teachers, local teachers, said, let's set up a Saturday school. So that was set up, in October of 2020.
Okay. And who are the other personalities involved in setting up the school?
So Ade Banjoko founded the school with myself. In fact, we started Parent Actions Resource Centre. We've always worked with a group of parents. So we started off with a wide range of parents from all across London who just wanted to be part of what we were doing. Now, more recently, we have been much more local. So we've kept the links with the parents that we originally started with, but as we're growing, the membership base, if you like, are really local in and around Ealing Borough. So we have a team of around 10 parents who are involved in developing the Saturday school, and then another team of teachers, again around 10, mostly from Ealing, some from Hillingdon Borough, but very much West London, one from Slough, who's also decided to be part of it. So it's a pretty big team. So it's not just myself and Ade. We really consider it to be a group thing. It's definitely not just about us. There's no way we would have thought about putting together a school without knowing that A, the parents and the teachers wanted to make it happen, and B, that they would be with us along the journey and helping us make it a reality.
Okay, so now we're going to go through some of the low points and high points of setting up a Saturday school, because it's not easy. So what are the low points of having to set up and run a Saturday school?
Well, we had all the big hype to start it. Everyone was really, engaged. They were like, yeah, we need to do more around our own history, our own heritage. Everyone was on board with that, of course. As I was saying, we started at a time when schools had just gone back, but then it got towards the winter and schools were closing. So for us, really a low point was when we had to say we have to go online. Thankfully, the teachers who were working with us already had experience of teaching online and how to set things up. So we provided training for the other teachers and how we could deliver that. So we went online. So it doesn't sound like a low point, but really it was a little bit for us, because we were just getting to know each other as a family, as a learning community, and really getting to know the children and young people that we were working with face to face. And online just wasn't the same. Online just wasn't the same in terms of building that community vibe. Yeah. But we said we tried to continue the momentum, and the children did come online, the young people came online, and we did manage to achieve some things. But I would say that was pretty much the low point. But we really did follow the guidelines, and as soon as we could see, right, we can try to get back, we're going to try, we got back. We did all the guidelines, social distancing, masks and everything, but we wanted to get back and be with everyone. And so did the parents. The parents really wanted us to be back in Northolt, in the community centre, doing what we really wanted to do. So that was, I think, a low point. In terms of a high point, There have been, I suppose, no, you're going to say, because we're quite a young Saturday school in a way, that we're still very much in a period of it's all really exciting and really, we're really enjoying what we're doing.
Long may that continue.
Yeah, the high points are so many. But we have, for example, our focus has very much been on developing the children, young people's political consciousness. They're not just their academic, but their understanding of the world that they live in. So it's not just been about academic, it's been about cultural excellence and critical understanding of the world. So that has been a really crucial point for us. So one of the high points for us was when we got the young people together and they decided that they'd write to the MPs about the lack of representation in the curriculum. And that was off the back of the research that they had done themselves around their presence in the curriculum. We got together some articles showing both sides of the argument in terms of including more Black history in the curriculum, and they came to the conclusion themselves that they just weren't represented, and they put together their points and wrote a letter to the local MP. The MP responded, and I think as we were really much about empowering them and making them feel that they can play a role to change things, that was definitely a high point for us. And other high points, I think, have been in terms of engaging the local community in the work that we've been doing. So we've had local authors come in and teach the children some creative writing. We've had the amazing Ken McCullough artists coming in and working with them on how to use their art skills to create things like posters, protest banners, which is another wonderful session. And we've had also storytellers in again to develop their understanding of the oral tradition, the African oral tradition. So these have all been high points for us, and we really want to continue to include the local community in the work that we do. So people who want to share their skills with us, share their knowledge, we're really, you know, open to them being part of what we're doing.
Beautiful, excellent, sounds really great. So so the current situation now, you're doing face-to-face and online, is that the case? So
we are completely face-to-face now. We know that we are ready when we need to go online, because we are set up to deliver online. The children and young people are in online classrooms. So we use it from time to time to set homework related to the work that they are doing, but we are face-to-face, and we're really glad to be back in a community centre and discussing with the children, reasoning with the children, and supporting them with their learning as well.
Okay, how was it finding premises for the school?
I had, for this particular premise, to be honest, it wasn't so tricky, but we fully understand that premises are a very tricky thing to find. We 100% get that, because we are even looking at maybe finding alternatives to where we are, just in terms of growing and having more of a more access to different types of technology, etc. However, this particular premises I had worked with when I was working with the owner of the premises when I had a small women's group, and luckily for us, he was still there. He really wanted to do this work. He's got a son and daughter working in education, and as soon as we mentioned it, he was like, definitely, you can come in here. So we are really grateful for that, actually.
Excellent, excellent. So what's the outlook for the school? You're 2 years old now. What's the future outlook, or what's the aim for the future?
The aim for the future is for us to continue to develop around the critical aspect of our work, because we know that a lot of our young people can have access to the academic excellence, and more places are starting to introduce Black history, so the cultural excellence, but we want to make sure that we continue to build on the critical side and socio-political awareness and consciousness as well as part of what we're doing. So that's something that we're working on, building on and developing on. So this year is about more people from the community joining us and being involved in what we are doing. It's also about us trying to maybe get some more teachers to be involved with us as well, so that they can not only support the children within the school, but also take that back to their schools, hopefully. Perhaps a little bit idealistically at this stage, but some of the things
it can
we're doing
happen.
some of the things we're doing with these young people are really motivating them. So we see no reason why the teachers shouldn't try to incorporate that into what they're doing in their own schools. So I think it's more of the same, basically. That's what we'd like to do.
Beautiful. And what kind of feedback are you getting from parents and students?
Great feedback. I mean, they were desperate for us to start again, because we actually start a little bit later than school term, because all of the teachers, including myself, are working full-time in mainstream. So we thought, okay, let's start mainstream and then give ourselves some time to start the Queen Nzinga up again. But the parents were like, come on, when are you starting? We want to start straight away. So really honest, the parents are really, really loving it. And we're getting combination of parents who are homeschooling and parents who are sending their children to mainstream school. So it's quite interesting that we're seeing a kind of split 50-50 homeschoolers and those in mainstream. And the children and young people love it. In fact, one of the homeschooling parents has said that she doesn't have to kind of shake them up to go to the Saturday school. It's like they want to go there, they want to be there. And you know what, what's really nice for them is that they get to just be with other young people like them, talk about issues that they might not feel they're able to talk to others in their mainstream school. Or when they're online. For a lot of the homeschoolers, a lot of their learning is online at the moment. This is different for them. They get to, hang out with people they can talk to about the issues that they're having around hair policies, around not being seen in books. So the children and young people are definitely on board. And what we're starting to develop now is that we have the older group who are around 14, 15. They're starting to develop into some of the leaders and teachers within the group. So they're coming back to share what they've learned about, whatever it is, ancient Kemet or Yaya Santuar, but they're willing to come back and then give back to the younger ones. So definitely really keen.
Beautiful, beautiful. And on that beautiful note, I'd like to thank you, Louise Brown, for the interview. This has been the Queen Nzinga Saturday School based in North Holt, West London. Thank you very much for your time, and the details can be found on the NABSS directory under West London. So Louise, thank you very much for your time and best wishes for the school's future.
Thank you so much. It's lovely to talk to you.